All right, happy Friday to you. We made it to the end of another work week. Something to celebrate. Weekend right around the corner. Another thing to celebrate is the fact that I'm about to give you your tropical update, and we have nothing heading towards Southeast Texas. It's been that way all season long, and hopefully that will continue for a few more weeks, because by the end of the month, that will be the official end of this 2023 hurricane season. Let's talk about it. It has actually been a fairly busy season with 20 named storms for the Atlantic Basin. Of course, we were really going and super active back around August, September, first part of October, but now we're into November, and typically you see very little activity in November, and things are kind of starting to wind down somewhat out there. However, we do still have a couple of systems that we are monitoring, and we can't rule out additional development at least through the end of the month. So we'll continue to watch things closely, but overall our chances of getting hit by a tropical depression, tropical storm, or hurricane quickly dwindling as we go day by day, week by week. But of course, you still want to stay alert, because we do at least have a small risk of it still happening. Let's first start off where we do have some action at this point, and this is in the Western Caribbean. We've tracked this system when it was in the Eastern Caribbean through the Central Caribbean, and now it is pushed into the Western Caribbean, getting close to Central America. So this is Invest 97L. Earlier in the week, it had about a 70% chance to develop into a tropical depression, tropical storm, or hurricane. But that chance now has gone all the way down to 10%. But it is going to bring likely some heavy rain to parts of Central America. You can see it here, that big bright area there, and it is still fairly disorganized, no well-defined center of circulation. But regardless of the organization or how healthy it is still going to spread some heavy rain bands, maybe some strong storms, and some big waves to parts of Central America. So it will be pushing likely into Central America late tonight into Saturday, and it's going to be impacting areas like Costa Rica, Honduras, Nicaragua, and also eventually El Salvador. So heavy rain and the potential for some flooding and mudslides in store for those spots. As you can see, that chance for tropical cyclone formation through the next couple of days only at 10%. So we likely will not get tropical storm or Hurricane Vincent, because that window is quickly closing for the system to develop before it hits land. So it is going to be pushing into Central America over the next 24 hours, and then it will roll all the way across Central America and likely emerge into the Eastern Pacific as we go into early next week, moving to the west. That's where our computer models are taking it. So at this point, no chance that it would go into Central America and then veer north and reemerge in the Gulf of Mexico. Not happening. It should actually push out into the Eastern Pacific. But there will be, as I mentioned, the threat for some heavy rainfall with Invest 97L over the next few days. Now, this one has been interesting. This is Tropical Storm Pilar over in the Eastern Pacific. It was actually very close to making landfall right along that coast of El Salvador earlier this week when it was moving east. Then it kind of shifted directions, and now it's been tracking west, and pretty quickly. And look how far out into the Pacific it's made it. So it's definitely not going to have a huge impact on Mexico or Central America, because it is quickly pushing away back to the west. But it is still out there, so I did want to mention it. It has gotten a little bit weaker. Wind now down to 45 miles per hour, movement to the west at 20 miles per hour, so moving fairly quickly, and pressure right around 1,002 millibars. So it will maintain that tropical storm status likely through Saturday, Sunday, even into Monday, still a 40 mile per hour minimal tropical storm. Then I think we're talking about weakening, starting to lose those tropical characteristics early next week as it weakens back to a remnant low 30 mile per hour winds. So overall, it looks like we won't have to worry too much about Pilar for Central America or Mexico. So those are the two systems that we have out there for now. However, we do still have until the end of this month to monitor this, and we could still end up getting a couple of additional systems. Of course, in the Atlantic Basin, the Gulf of Mexico, Atlantic Ocean, Caribbean Sea, we have had several named storms, 20 to be exact, but we've still got two more names on this list that we haven't used, Vince and Whitney. It was looking more likely that we would have maybe tropical storm vents in the Caribbean earlier this week, but now, like I said, that chance down to 10%. So we will continue to be right at 20 named storms for the season, 6 hurricanes and 3 major hurricanes. So it has been an above average season for the number of storms that we've had, and a near average for the hurricanes and major hurricanes. So hopefully this is it. Hopefully we are not dealing with anything else tropical developing out there, but we do still have very warm water. We keep waiting for this water to cool down, but it is just not happening. We've still got water temps in the Gulf of Mexico in the 80s, even some middle to upper 80s out there, especially across the central southern portions of the Gulf, close to 90-degree temps in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. That means if we did get a little low pressure area trying to spin up, it could quickly develop and turn into something more serious, because that water is so warm and that acts as fuel to help these systems develop. Very warm water as well back towards the Caribbean and the Atlantic, so we're really not seeing this water cool off. And as long as we have water that warm out there, we are still concerned that there could still be 1 or 2 systems popping up that could be tropical of nature as we go into the next few weeks. So we'll be watching it closely. We'll continue to do these updates every afternoon through the end of our hurricane season, which ends officially on November 30th. Of course, this weekend, we've got to worry about falling back. Of course, daylight saving time coming to an end. You can find out about everything weather related with the tropics and with our local weather by going to the App Store, downloading that Fox 26 weather app. And you can find lots of information there. We've got our weather videos, we've got the radar, you can track anything on the radar, and of course you can get any kind of tropical update there as well. So plenty to see there, plenty to view, and it's definitely something you need to have on your phone so you'll be abreast of what's going on as you're out and about enjoying your weekend. So that will do it for your tropical update. We've made it to Friday. We can celebrate. Nothing of a tropical nature heading our way, and hopefully we will keep things quiet for a few more weeks, and we'll be able to say that we got through another season without being affected by any type of tropical system. Well, enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade.